What is race? What is ethnicity? Is there a difference? Can you define race? When I say the word race, what do you think of? What's your race? What's my race? When we think of race in the United States, we often think of Black, white, Native American, and Asian. We sometimes think Middle Easterner or Latinx, but we'll get back to that later. Race in the United States refers to physical features, but it refers to very specific physical features, ones that correspond to European ideas of difference. For example, skin color is one physical feature associated with race. In the 1700s, European scientists described the people of Africa as black, the people of the Americas as red, and the people of Asia as yellow. However, the continent of Africa has every skin color on the human spectrum, as do the Americas and Asia. Europe is the only continent with relatively little variation in skin color. Thus, it's no surprise that Europeans focused on skin color as an important distinction between people. The idea of race is linked to 18th century European scientists in another important way. They came up with the idea that we can know something about someone's personality and behavior based on how they look. We see a person and use race to assess whether they're good at basketball, math, or English literature. Another unique feature of race is that it's something you get from your parents. If I know the race of your parents, then I know your race as well. Race then refers to a group of people imagined to share physical features, a common ancestry, and cultural and moral attributes. Race is also externally imposed. I look at you and I determine what I think your race is. The idea of race is slightly different from the concept of ethnicity. Ethnicities are group identity based on notions of shared history, culture, and kinship. Ethnicity also has a distinct history from race. And unlike race, ethnicity doesn't always imply a hierarchy. People self-identify as belonging to an ethnic group on the basis of their understanding of their history and culture. There may only be a few races, but there are thousands of ethnicities. Ethnicities refer to people who are minorities within a larger context. Some examples of ethnicities include Polish people in Brazil, Algerians in France, and Koreans in the United States. There are also ethnic groups within racial groups. The Black population in the United States, for example, includes Nigerian Americans, Dominican Americans, Jamaican Americans, and African Americans, all of whom have their distinct histories and cultures. Of course, in Nigeria, Nigerians have their own ethnic groups, including Igbos, Hausas, and Yorubas, all of whom speak their own language and have their own traditions. Ethnicities are thus layered and relational in important ways. A person may consider themselves Igbo when encountering a Yoruba, Nigerian American when they meet a Haitian American, African American when talking to an Italian American, and simply American when traveling in France. So what about Latinxes and Middle Easterners? Are they a race or an ethnicity? There's no consensus on that, so I'll have to let you decide. But I will leave you with these two definitions to help you figure this out. Race is an externally imposed categorization based on certain physical features such as skin color and hair texture, a common ancestry, and cultural and moral attributes. Ethnicity is a self-defined group identity based on shared kinship, history, and culture.